testament to Vasuta's efforts.
Wow, lots of pictures. 7 seconds. Might have been a mistake. You might start.
HCAM, let us know when you're ready. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Amy Ritterbusch, and this is the Select Board meeting for April 11th, 2023. I call the meeting to order. This meeting of the Select Board is being held both in person and remotely using the video conference platform Zoom. All members are expected to be in the room tonight. We think Mary Jo will be here shortly. The public has the option of attending in person here at Town Hall or via Zoom using the link posted in this meeting's agenda. This meeting is being recorded. So as far as I know, nobody will be remote tonight except the public, so we don't need to read that part. But our first item on the agenda is to move into executive session. So we would need a motion to move into executive session to approve executive session minutes from March 14th and March 28th. Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, 21A, Purpose 2, to consider strategy with respect to negotiations with non-union personnel, the town manager. Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, 21A, Purpose 6, to consider the purchase, lease, sale, or value of real estate in relation to properties in the vicinity of Town Hall, the Jenner property, 0 Spring Street, 0 West Main Street, Lot B, rear West Main Street, and 3 contiguous parcels on College Street, totaling 20.74 acres, because an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the board, and to approve, we already said approve executive session minutes, to allow Norman Camalo and Aline Lazarus to participate in executive session, and then to reconvene an open session at the conclusion of executive session.
So moved.
Second.
And since we're all in person, we can do for executive session, we have to do a roll call vote, right?
Yep. Mary
Okay.
Kramer, yes.
For financial, yes.
Edelman, yes.
Amy Ritterbusch, yes. Okay, so we'll be back around 6:30. Okay, HCAM is ready. Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Amy Ritterbusch, and this is the Select Board meeting for April 11th, 2023, and we're now reconvening in open session, and I call the meeting to order. First on our, it's not on the agenda, but we would like to have a moment of silence for the two residents who passed away tragically in the house fire this weekend, Don and Judy McNeil. So if everyone could just take a moment. Thank you, everyone. And now we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. And now we're going to move on to public forum, and I believe the fire chief is going to speak first. We would please note that every person will have up to 2 minutes to speak at public forum. Please start by stating your name and address. And first I'll go to people who are here in the meeting room, and then we'll go to people who are on Zoom. So we'll start with Chief Muller.
Good evening, through you, Madam Chair, down to the Select Board. As you stated, we had a tragedy on Easter morning. The town of Hopkinton hasn't seen something like this ever that I can remember in its history. It was a tragic morning. The staff of HFD and all of our mutual aid companies did an outstanding job and the best that they could do with what we had at that time. Judith did pass away this morning, or I should say late last night. So one thing I want to urge all residents, and we talk about it time in and time again, that working smoke detectors, okay? I want us to all learn from this. This is something that's really serious. We talk about changing your batteries. We talk about checking your smoke detectors. Life expectancy is 10 years. Batteries are changed every 6 months when we do our clocks. We really need to do this, okay? We need working smoke detectors. That's our first line of defense, and that's going to help all of us. So please, I'm reaching out to the public. Take a minute and do it. We also have a program within the fire department through fire prevention. If someone does not have a smoke detector or a working smoke detector or is questioning it, please reach out to us, and our fire prevention division will go out and work with residents and go to your homes and help you out. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I was just wondering that myself too, if there were programs. Some of the newer detectors are very expensive. If there are programs for people to get them if they can't afford one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And also, false alarms, sometimes...
The cooking or something, yeah.
Not from cooking, just from, a faulty unit. And I know a lot of people, myself included, will just get annoyed and unplug the darn thing. And, I know. But being able to access the replacement unit would be...
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're doing it with the seniors right now, and we're really proud of that program. We've helped some residents out in town who've needed them and not able to have them, or we've noticed on calls. Again, I'm urging anybody, reach out to our fire prevention division. We'll help out anybody that we can, and if it's above us, we'll guide them to a contractor, somebody that may be able to help them in the right direction.
And Youth and Family Services, too, they would make the connect for folks. And it would make a nifty scout project too to help
That's a good point.
people out. So it's I wanted to say one thing too, through you, Madam Chair. Just to you and your department and to all first responders, I know that this is really traumatic and tragic and hard on everybody who responded as well. So make sure that you let the town know in whatever your department needs, anybody in the department or the department itself. We want to make sure that we're taking care of the folks that do this really hard job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to resonate that. I want to thank you, your crew, and all the towns that participated in the collaborative effort. It's a tremendous effort, and it must be traumatic as well as needed a lot of focused, dedicated work. So thank you and your crew. And it's just such a tragic event. Our heart goes to the family, and
Thank you.
we're really sorry.
The son is a firefighter as well, too, so it kind of hits home a little bit more for us. And I do want to give a special shout-out to the duty group. Deputy Doherty, they did yeoman's work with the rescues they made and the care, as well as our mutual aid partners. It was all hands working at that incident at that time. So, but again, we need to stress smoke detectors, and I just want to drive that point home. Okay.
Thank you. And, one of our goals is to look out for the mental health.
Yep.
And I think this is an opportunity where we would like to see you all avail yourself to our services.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is there anyone in the room that would like to speak at public comment? If so, can you come to the table? Come on up.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving this opportunity. My name is Vikasit Prati. I'm from 33 Hayward Street, Hopkinton, a resident of Hopkinton. And this is with regards to the Hayward Street and South Street rezoning from residential lakefront to commercial rural, this one. So I just want to call out that, with the past, whatever, with Margaret Concrete, we have had some meeting. So I just would like to read out my thought process, which I've put it on a paper, so just to make it easier. So it is becoming increasingly apparent and observed for how they are approaching every time, every attempt. They sneak their way into the 11th hour. Like if you look at the citizen petitionship, it was the last day they submitted at 3:45 p.m. when it was supposed to be closing at 4 p.m. And also today's in the select board meeting, which we understand on the agenda item, this particular topic has brought up to as part of the discussion. I know that this agreement was submitted to the select board. I've gone through it personally. There are a couple of things which I would like to call out where we felt that, this was written in that. Example, there was a specific way they're saying that they claim to have been communicating with the neighborhood and their abutters, where in the point number 3, development area, subpoint C, they're clearly saying that they're working with us, and honestly speaking, nobody has contacted us. The last time when we had a meeting was in March, I believe 26th or 27th. It was a Saturday. I don't remember the date exactly, the last Saturday of March. And after, nobody has contacted any of the neighborhoods on this. However, their agreement says that we acknowledged and we are ready to talk through further steps. That's one thing. Another thing also which caught my eye is that, it says that select board and planning board are voting in their support in the same development agreement point E and F, which also calls out like that. It feels like that, they're trying to put pressure on the town to get it on this. At least that's what it gives me an impression when I read that. But again, I just want to make sure that you just have to thoroughly look through that. Although I'm not a legal expert on this, on that development agreement, but I just wanted to leave it to that attorney, town's review attorney. But I just want to mention one thing I would like to call out that during our neighborhood meeting, when we asked Jim Margaret, saying that, what happens if, as residents of Hopkinton, we turn down this and vote you out? And his reply was, I will find ways to get back and redo this proposal and work with the town. So that is something which we just want to make sure that, how we can get this thing rectified, or he understands that, there's a safety, security, privacy, everything is there.
Okay.
I just asked the board that to discard this proposal and protect the neighborhood, the lake people. We voted for you, and we would like to have the trust for the safety, security of the neighborhood.
Okay, thank you. And this will be on the agenda later in the evening, so I'll allow a little time for if you have one designated member from your group that might like to reply after we head out the presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else that would like to speak at public forum tonight?
Good evening. My name is Sabine St. Pierre, and I'm at One Woody Island. First, I would just like to say I'm on the LMPA, the Lake Maspinock Preservation Association, and the loss of Don and Judith hits home. So we just want to thank you for the prayer and just give our condolences and thoughts and prayers to the family. So I am here to talk about the rezoning as well of Hayward. Since I live at Woodby Island, my driveway is actually off of Hayward. We've been there 17 years. And, when I think about this project, I understand that there will be some minimal tax benefits to the town and some minimal job opportunities. But when you really look at the project, and as an LMPA member, I look at the major impacts it's going to have on the environment. It is being built in the watershed of Lake Maspinock. It's going to tear down numbers of trees and basically create a concrete jungle of 120 parking spaces. As a parent, having been there, and I have a family there, we probably have about 200 or so households in that area that use Hayward up at South Street as our main exit and entrance. We do have Downey Street, but trying to pull out onto West Main can be a severe challenge. Especially this time of year, there are people out walking their dogs, families going up to Co. Kids are loving walking up to Dunkin' Donuts. That parking lot is going to be directly across from this exit and entrance that they're proposing. And already when you drive up Hayward, people pull out of Co. and Dunkin' Donuts parking lot, don't even look down the street to see people exiting. So now you're bringing in 50 employees, other people that are going to be on this campus on and off with the morning traffic of all these 200 households trying to get out of Hayward. And it's going to be a nightmare. And as a parent, I think it's going to be a major safety concern. So I just implore supporters, people that are voting to support, not support, town meeting, if this goes to town meeting, to vote no on the rezoning, because it's just going to be a detriment to the Lake neighborhood. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anyone else in the room before I go to the people on Zoom? Okay. We have Deswal, who has a stand up on Zoom, if we could line him up.
Hi, this is Manisha. I hope you can hear me.
Yes? Go ahead.
I don't have same concern as other residents have shared about rezoning. We do live around Hayward Street, and already there are so many challenges on the street. There are no walkways, kids can't bike around, and now seeing that there's another entrance being created, and so safety is a biggest concern right now. So we expect town to look into it very seriously and think of the safety and all the concerns that people are raising here.
Thank you. Okay. I don't see any other hands raised, so I think we are done with public forum for the moment. Oh, there's one more. Terry Dever. This will be the last one.
Yes, sorry. I just wanted to plead to the voters of town meeting. What the points that Sabine and Vic brought up, I just want to ask the voters to please stand with the neighbors, their friends, the Lake Maspinock neighborhood, and make sure that they question whether the additional tax money will really be worth it or will it be a burden. Will this be a good thing for the Lake Maspinock neighborhood and for the town? The responsibility of that decision is in the hands of the voters. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now we're done with public comment. Next, we have the consent agenda. The Select Board will consider approving the minutes of the March 28, 2023 meeting, accepting a gift of a stone bench at the library in memory of Arthur Gendron Jr., MD. Gendron. Yep. And accepting a gift of $3,600 from the Hopkinton Public Library Foundation to the library to sponsor the Children's Monthly Music and Movement Program. Would anyone like to pull any items out or make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And just for discussion, I noticed we reviewed the stone bench at the Historic District Commission recently, and it's really a lovely addition. I think people will really enjoy using it at the library.
And just to also say thank you to the family. It's a lovely way to remember their dad who was lost too soon. So.
Yeah. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstain? Okay, next we have a continued public hearing on the street acceptances. The Select Board will continue the public hearing pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 82, Section 21, to discuss accepting and laying out of the following streets as public ways. Fox Hollow Road, which has no planning board vote yet, and Box Mill Road, which the planning board recommends acceptance of. Okay, we had originally continued the public hearing because there was not really enough information and the status of the work was not completed yet. Okay, so the DPW has reported on April 7th that no additional work has been done on either road. A letter received on April 10th from Attorney Finnegan requested continuance to April 25th for Fox Hollow and to allow for time for additional work. And then they have a scheduled meeting with the planning board on April 24th. So I think that makes sense to continue that one for sure till after the planning board has the chance to review it. How about Box Mill Road? Norman, do you think we should just continue them both, or?
Yes, please.
Go ahead. Okay.
Yeah.
Does any discussion?
No, I'm happy. Do we have to vote to continue?
We have to vote to continue.
Procedurally, there's no need to vote to continue. The chair can simply announce when the hearing.
Vote on the
It says motion.
Well, we'll take the motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can we have a motion to continue the street acceptance public hearing for both roads to April 25th, 2023?
Yep.
Second?
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstain? Okay, next is a special temporary alcohol license for the Hoyt Foundation EMC Park. The Select Board will consider approving a special temporary alcohol license for Mike Gilialongo on behalf of the Hoyt Foundation. The beer garden is to be held at the Dick Hoyt Memorial Run and Walk. The event will be May 27th, 2023 from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. At EMC Park, located at 113 Hayden Row. Alcohol will be served by tip-certified servers and will be supplied by Startline Brewing. Before approving consumption of alcoholic beverages on town property, the town board must determine the following. That a nonprofit hosts the event during which the alcoholic beverages may be served, possessed, sold, or consumed. That the net proceeds raised from such service, possession, sale, or consumption are used in a manner that directly and specifically benefits the town or its residents. That the event marks a special occasion for the nonprofit organization or the town, and that the consumption does not occur outside the hours of 10 a.m. to 11, or 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. And in granting its approval, the Select Board may impose such terms as condition as seem reasonable for the protection of health and safety. So,
I'll make a motion.
well, do we want? Is there a presentation or?
Yeah, somebody talk about this?
Oh, yeah, okay. I thought it was before.
Mike might be on.
Oh, someone's on Zoom.
Come on up.
Yeah, Mike is on Zoom, if we could liven him up.
Mike is on Zoom, I'm here to help.
Okay. All right, so Ted is here and Mike is on Zoom. We're going to get him unmuted. And it looks like for town comments, everything looks like the town staff approves it, except that there should be a police detail since will have over 100 people. Okay. Mike, did you want to give us an introduction about the event? I don't think we've had this one before.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know this is the first time event. I think most of the people present on the Zoom call are familiar with Dick and Rick Hoyt, their importance to Hopkinton and the marathon. Dick unfortunately passed away in January of 2021 during the height of COVID. And he was just buried with military honors at the Bourne National Cemetery this past summer, this past June. So this is our first real opportunity to celebrate Dick's life and the many accomplishments on behalf of people like Dick and Rick. Rick in particular, who's a non-speaking quadriplegic. Dick pushed Rick in 32 Boston marathons and many other events, over 1,000, including Ironman triathlons, believe it or not. So this is our attempt to celebrate his life and give the many people in Hopkinton, around Massachusetts, and generally in the running community, an opportunity to celebrate his life. So what we're planning is a 5-mile run and a 2-mile walk both of which will start and finish at Marathon Elementary. We succeeded in getting a permit from the schools, Hopkins schools, to use Marathon School as our start-finish and to use the gymnasium for registration on race morning. Again, that's Saturday, May 27th. So both events will start and finish at Marathon School. Both events will pass the statue of Dick and Rick in front of Center School and then circle back to Marathon School. The thought was to then have people proceed from Marathon School over to EMC Park, which we also succeeded in getting a permit from Parks and Rec to use for the post-race celebration. And now this particular permit would allow us to serve beer in a cordoned off beer garden. And I can answer any questions about how that's constructed in addition to the drawing that Ted Twiggy put together for us, which is in the packet that was submitted.
I think that might be a little helpful because I don't recall us having alcohol at EMC Park before. Is that new?
No, I think it's new for me too.
So if you want to go over, it looks like there'll be wristbands and a cordoned off area. Yeah.
I'll be happy to, Amy. I haven't personally poured at AMC or EMC Park, but I do know that there have been other fundraising events similar to this in the past. I believe the Live for Evan event had multiple beer gardens at EMC Park.
Oh, they did? Okay.
That said, our team's fully prepared to do this. We've done a number of these in town at different places. With Mike's help and their team's help, they're bringing barricades, they're bringing porta potties, they've contracted a police detail. I think everything is in order, including the distance from the school and the right cause for the town and so forth. So, you know, we're going to make sure that we ID folks, put wristbands on people before they walk into the beer garden. We're going to make sure that people buy tickets before they have a beer at the beer garden, and that it's a proper celebration, appropriate with this wonderful event, recognizing the Hoyts and the Memorial Run. I think that that the hours are 10 to 2. We're going to wrap it up pretty quickly. They're going to have a nice walk and a nice run, and by early Saturday afternoon, we'll be out of there. So we've also put a litter plan together. We'll clean it all up. I think everything will be in order. Our team's excited to do it, to support them. We're not making any money on the event. We're there for charity to help them out and make Hopkinton proud. So
thank you.
That's what I'd be happy to say.
Norman, did you have anything to add from town staff? Or?
Nothing to add. Through the chair, nothing to add.
Okay. Board members, do you have any questions or comments?
I just want to thank you for the noble work on this and organizing this. This is a wonderful event, and it's really nice for such celebration for the wonderful personalities and wonderful people in the Hoyt family. So good luck to you, and I think it is also heartening to hear that you're doing it as charity and taking all the proper measures. We need more events like this, certainly, in my view. And so thank you for doing this. And if nothing else, I would like to move the motion to approve the temporary license.
So can we all comment?
Get to speak?
How about we can, after we make the motion, we'll discuss or allow other comments?
I'd rather speak.
Speak first. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Go ahead.
I thought you all did. Okay.
I'm happy to go next.
Go ahead.
Okay, through you, Madam Chair. I presume there's no baseball that morning or day?
I'm sorry, I'm not aware. Through Parks and Rec has approved the application. I'm not aware of their schedules for that.
That would be challenging. And we're going to be serving beer at 10 o'clock in the morning. I hate to sound like a real stick in the mud, but that's where I'm going. I love the idea of celebrating the Hoyts. I love it, but I'm a little challenged by this concept, to be honest. And a little surprised that our public safety folks aren't a little challenged by this concept, too.
Okay.
So I would love to be celebrating Rick and Dick Hoyt. I'm not sure right next to a playground, and if kids are playing ball, if that's the time and place for a beer garden. So I don't know. Do we know if the baseball schedule?
Just reading, the Parks and Rec did have a letter in here. I don't know if it addresses that.
If I may, the Parks and Rec has told us that no other events were scheduled for that day at the park.
Thank you.
Which is why we got the permit from them.
Okay. All right, Irfa, did you have any?
Yes, through the chair. All the servers are tip certified, and even drinking at 10 a.m., they would know enough when to cut someone off.
Absolutely. Thank you. Through the chair, we've actually done, I think, 2 different marathon or 10Ks here in town. They are early morning racing. After they race, they love to have a beer or 2. This is not a big session. It's a social event for folks, and I don't feel like I should justify the why here as much as the timing is the race is when it is. They celebrate and they go home. It's an early event. Yes, we're all tip certified. We will absolutely be careful with how we serve alcohol, like we do every day at our business, as well as when we do it off-site. And I think you'll find everything will be in order, and you'll be proud of what happens on that day for the Memorial Run.
So the actual race starts at 10, correct?
No, I believe it starts at 9, if I'm not mistaken, okay. Mike.
The actual race starts at 10.
Oh, 10.
We would have our first finishers of the 5 mile. The fastest runners would be about 20 or 25 minutes before finishing. So effectively, while we may be set up to go with beer at 10 o'clock, nobody will be finishing before about 25 past 10. And the majority of runners, and walkers for that matter, will finish between 11 and 12.
Thank you. I'm also with that.
Mary Jo, did you have any questions or comments?
No, I think this is a nice event.
Okay.
Can we move the motion?
Second Shadul's motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Or
No.
abstain?
But I wish you good luck, and I'm thrilled that you're doing it. So there you go. There's the yin and the yang.
Come on down and see what we do. Hopefully,
I'm not going to come down.
come on down and see what we do. Hopefully, you'll celebrate with the Hoyts.
No, I totally love the idea. I just want to make it really clear. I think that there's a better way at 10 o'clock in the morning than next to a kid's playground and ball fields than
your point's well taken.
That's just me. But I also love beer, and I love Start Line, and I want to celebrate it all, just not at 10 o'clock in the morning next to the playground.
Thank you. We'll be ready to go at 10. Sounds like we might not be serving till 11-ish, but thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, our next item is new employee appointment. The Select Board will consider confirming the Town Manager's appointment of Colleen DePina as an Administrative Assistant for the Senior Services Department. So, Norman, do you want to begin, or Amy will begin?
Yeah, I'll do a quick introduction through the chair. I'm respectfully requesting that the Select Board confirm the Town Manager's appointment of Colleen DePina as the community's next administrative assistant for senior services. She is filling a vacancy that was created when our previous employee resigned and moved on to greener pastures. This is a budgeted position. Who is Colleen DePina? And why are we recommending her for this position? We had 3 distinct qualities that make her the ideal candidate for this position. Number 1, her relentless quest for value in customer service. We heard from your references how you take seriously your duty of care. And working with seniors, we are looking for an individual who will prioritize care. Secondly, we also heard how you apply more attention to detail. You are a stickler on the minutiae. Usually that is taken negatively, but in this case I will tell you that's not the case. It simply means Colleen would just not let anything slide by. And that's what we're looking for in this role. And then finally, we heard from your references how you connect with individuals at a personal level. And with that, I'm presenting Colleen DiPina as our next administrative assistant. She has worked in this field for a while, most recently as a principal clerk for the City of Worcester in the Division of Public Health, as well as a member services representatives for the Retirement Board, City of Worcester. You previously worked for the Lutheran Rehabilitation and Skilled Care Center as a resident service liaison, which is a natural foundation for this role.
Okay, thank you. So welcome. Your resume looks great, and I see you're up to date in your cybersecurity training, which is very important. I know.
Near and dear to Amy's heart.
Yeah, I know. I administer it from my office. But and seniors are vulnerable to scams like that on their phones and their email. And then you have the dementia training, so everything sounds wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Someone else?
Yes, through the chair. I think at the senior center, I think that your ability to connect with people is something that'll be greatly appreciated, and it's a place for community, and to be able to make a personal connection with each one is something I really look forward to seeing, and happy to see you. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
So through you, Madam Chair, also from Worcester, so nice to Worcester. Also from Worcester. Just saying. Tell us a little bit about what you're excited about this job, if you don't mind, and congratulations and welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to working with the people. Elders have a very near and dear spot in my heart, and it's what fulfills my life. So I'm really just looking forward to working with the people who come to the senior center, building family with my new coworkers, and just being a part of the town of Hopkinton. I'm really excited.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
I was at the senior center today for lunch, and I had my taxes done, and I added 12 pieces to the puzzle. I mean, it's so varied, and there's so much wonderful activity there that I hope you're really going to immerse yourselves in this, because while I was there, the exercises were going on, taxes, there was a pool tournament going on in another room, and there's just so much activity of different kinds, and people come in and out for lunch and sit around and knit and talk, and it's just the most wonderful atmosphere, and I made myself, I picked up another one today, mine broke, so no, they're just wonderful, and they really do. But like I said, there's many different aspects to that place. And one woman today said she came from, I want to say Michigan, but it was one of the M's anyway. And she said they had senior centers, but they were nothing like ours. People come from Marlborough, and they come from Natick, and I've met people from everywhere, just because our senior center is exceptional, and I hope that you will help it to stay that way. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I just want to congratulate you and welcome you. Thank you for choosing us, and you have a wonderful background. Certainly digitally very savvy, which I'm very happy to see. That will help certainly with all the activities, and also I have a lot of expertise in senior center related topics, which is certainly going to help. And senior center is one of the most vibrant center of the town, so I'm sure you'll enjoy it and help expand the services and help keep it going with all the good things that are happening. So welcome on board, and thank you again for choosing us, and wish you all the best.
Thank you.
So if nothing else, I move the motion to confirm the town manager's appointment of Colleen DiPina as the administrative assistant for the Senior Services Department.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstain? Okay, and we can take a photo if you'd like.
Take a picture.
No, once I stand up, getting up and down. I'm coming.
Should I go sideways?
Probably.
Smile.
Oh, you take it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Then next we have a common victuals license for O'Reilly Inc. at 24 Main Street. The select board will consider issuing a common vic license to Maurizio and Elizabeth Bremerman for O'Reilly Mexican Cuisine, a new restaurant at 22-24 Main Street.
They were here last week.
They were here last week. So Norman, did they close the loop on any outstanding items?
Yes, and in fact, last week they were participating remotely.
Oh,
and
so maybe they're on Zoom.
And today they are here.
Oh, they're here. Okay.
Yes.
I thought I saw them.
Yeah, please.
So come on to the table. Yeah. Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
So I guess our big question is, we'd like to, if we get done with our meetings early, go have a have a dinner. Will you be open on Tuesday evenings late? Most restaurants are not open Tuesdays late. But anyway, let's see. So we heard a little bit about your restaurant last time. Norman, were there any staff comments?
I think the big news is you plan to open as early as tomorrow.
Really? Oh, good. Oh, but not tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had information last time. Does anyone have any additional questions or comments?
Everything was great.
I don't. I do, actually, but I should know it because it's in the packet. What are your hours going to be? This is an opportunity for you to tell the community and me and my husband on what your hours are going to be, and introduce yourself a little bit. We're very excited, and for anybody who's listening, it's going to be, tell us about your restaurant and when you're going to be open and those kinds of things.
I try open as soon as possible, tomorrow as possible, and the hours is 11 in the morning to 9 or 10 in the night.
So lunch?
Lunch and dinner.
Nice.
And it's takeout and delivery and dining, no?
Oh, delivery too? Okay.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And I don't know, and I'm looking for something nice restaurant for dinner, not like music, only slow music, maybe some the bar open maybe in a couple months, and for relax and stay there. No?
Wonderful. Spicy food?
Yeah, see, you like it?
Just asking, no, not judging, just asking.
Yeah, spicy food and fresh food, you know.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
No?
Okay.
Through the chair?
Yes?
Mr. Kamalu, because there's music, is there also an entertainment license involved?
In fact, tonight, the board is only considering the common vic license.
Okay.
And then at your next meeting, we'll be presenting their application for an entertainment license and a Section 12 alcohol license.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that was my next question, which is you're going to be coming for an alcohol license.
How about those margaritas?
For the, well, that's going to be for next week, so I'll save those for that.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Are we ready for a motion? Or?
Just a simple question. The other two, we couldn't add it to that tonight?
No.
Procedural thing?
Yes, we could not because of advertising requirements, as well as the need for them to go through the permitting review process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to welcome you and thank you for coming to our town. And this is a wonderful town. We are craving for more food and interesting cuisine. I'm curious and I wanted to ask, what led you to Hopkinton?
Sorry?
What made you choose our town to open the restaurant?
I live in Ashland for 10 years. I live in Hopkinton 4 years before, and now I moved to Hopkinton last year. And I like Hopkinton, and it's no Mexican food. It's only pizza and
Tacos.
I wanted something different, for the town.
No, thank you. And I'm sure you have other restaurateur friends, so encourage them to follow you and come to our town. So if nothing else, Madam Chair, I would like to move the motion to issue a common victualier license to Mauricio and Elizabeth Bremerman for Oracle Mexican Cuisine, a new restaurant at 2224 Main Street.
Okay. Second.
Okay.
And if I could ask for a friendly amendment that the license would expire December 31st, 2023?
Yep. Because we renew all our licenses at the same time in December, so everybody's December, I think. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? Okay, thank you. We look forward to trying it.
We do look forward to seeing you. Welcome to town. Welcome anytime.
Okay. Congratulations.
Budget.
Okay, budget update. Okay. Let's see, the Appropriations Committee, let's see. Is there anything in our packet about the budget? I don't think there is an update, right?
No, nothing specific to the budget. The Appropriations Committee public hearing was held last night. Went well. We were hoping for larger attendance, but similar to every other year, we were not surprised that the attendance was very thin.
Well, Muriel and I were there, I think. We were. You were there.
Congratulations. What we are hoping tonight, the board will do is to focus on the warrant. First signing the warrant, as well as discussing, we received a request from the proponents for the rezoning at South Street to appear before the board. We wanted to give them the opportunity to do so.
Okay.
And then the board later on may begin taking positions on some of the articles.
Okay, so first we have to vote to sign the warrant. So all the things that were in yellow last week have now been resolved, so the warrant's all set?
I believe the warrant is ready for prime time.
Okay, yes, it is on time. I did note that. And our book is on time. Yes. Okay, so does anyone, are we ready to vote to sign the warrant, or do we have any questions remaining from last week?
I'll make a motion to sign the warrant.
I second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So we have the update. Okay, and then we could begin drafting motions. Should we go ahead and do the motions, take positions on the articles, or should we have our presentation?
Yeah, perhaps because we have the
An audience,
proponent for the rezoning here, might as well consider that first.
Okay, so the proponents of the zoning article, which our article numbers are final now, so what?
39 or something, I'm sorry,
29. Article 29. So the proponents of Article 28 and 29 are here, so should we, Article 28 is more straightforward, right? Should we, maybe we should, the West Elm Street one?
Yeah, we should start with the church.
Okay, so are the representatives from West Elm Street here? This is Article 28. This is where Community Covenant Church is, and they're proposing to rezone from Residence B District to Business District. And you had a presentation in our packet, I think.
Yes, my name's Mary Overholt, and I'm a representative from Community Covenant Church. The information is in the packet. It's a small lot. It's 3.67 acres, and there's actually two lots. The second lot is exceedingly small. It's 0.17 acres. They're next to each other. The current zoning for these lots is both residential B, and we have a petition before you to change the zoning. It just didn't seem like the zoning was fit for the rest of the zoning in the area. Across the street at the Price Chopper Complex, the zoning is business. The South Street area is industrial A and hotel overlay. Across 495, you also have rural business, industrial B, and hotel overlays. So this little lot on the corner of 495 and West Main Street has the most restrictive zoning that there is. There is a residential neighborhood behind it, but it is well buffered from that neighborhood. There's a huge wetland complex, which is actually part of Lake Maspinock. So I would say that the nearest house is maybe 300 feet, and there's lots of trees and screening. The lot is small. Only the currently developed area is really buildable because of the wetland issues. There's already lighting on the lot, so I don't think there'd be a lot more lighting at night. And I know at the planning board meeting, some of the local residents expressed concerns about traffic. And while there may be increased traffic, there is already a lot of traffic in that lot. People turn around there. You see the state troopers stopping there and chatting. It's kind of a meeting place, actually. Already, it's a lot that has a fair bit of traffic. So those were my main points, and why we're presenting the petition. And historically, this church has owned the lot for about 50 years or so, and I imagine that the zoning has changed in the area around that to allow for the commercial development. When Price Chopper came in, I remember when it was Cactus Grill across the street, so the area has changed a lot.
I remember that too.
Yes. Thank you. The presentation is very helpful with this, with the satellite images and the zoning maps and everything.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions about this article and proposal?
No, I think it's pretty straightforward.
I think it's a good idea.
Through the chair, sorry. Are you intending on running a business there?
No, the church actually is closing down, and the church property will go on the market.
Okay.
And you're a church board member, I presume?
Yeah. I used to be a board member. The positions are dissolved at the moment, but...
Okay.
Through the chair. Do you still back up to the state land in the back where they do...
Right, so there is...
equipment things?
Yeah, so there's there's a bigger parcel of I think it's 5 acres in the rear. We're not requesting, that is also owned by the denomination. We're not requesting that to be changed because it's right across from the residential neighborhoods, and it is very close to the state. Not that it would impact the state, but that parcel will remain residential. So, yeah.
I don't have any question, but I just wanted to share that I'm sorry to see you winding down. It's been a historic and very unique place. So I'm sorry to see that, but good luck to you, and thanks for all the services.
Yeah, we've had many Girl Scout leader meetings there over the years. So
oh, really?
Appreciate that.
Yeah. It's a good building for that.
Yeah. Okay, so if we don't have any, I don't think we need to vote on this one because it's zoning, correct?
But you need to initial it.
I need to initial it, yes. But thank you very much. This is very helpful. Okay, and then the next one we're going to review tonight is Article 29, seeking to rezone the map, providing a map at 66th, several parcels on South Street, so 66 through 70, it looks like. Sure. Okay, these were in our packet, I think.
So I have a board because I just think it'd be helpful for you to understand where the focus is on the property. I'm not sure if that comes through on the screen or not, so I apologize.
So the camera is there.
Yeah, if you come.
But then you folks won't see it.
Oh, actually, we just zoomed in. I'm sorry, you got it.
You got it.
There you go. Okay.
This is going to be more helpful. I
Yeah.
apologize.
Okay.
So basically, I'm here, Peter Bemis, I reside at 3 Lakeview Path, Hopkinton, and to my left is Jim Marguerite. Jim is a resident of Hopkinton, and he owns Marguerite Concrete. They're currently a tenant at a building on South Street, and the goal is to construct a corporate headquarters. Currently, they're located in Hopedale, and the desire is to develop the corner lot at Hayward and South. So on the right view is the current configuration of zoning, and the pink is showing your industrial A district, the green is showing residential lakefront, which goes down to the lake, and the blue here is the business rural. And that's basically one lot. So currently today you have one lot at the corner of South and Hayward that is a rural business zone. And our goal is to expand that rural business zone to include the 5 lots. There's a total of 7 lots that are owned. The 2 lots here and a right-of-way would remain residential lakefront.
Okay.
There's an image of what this looks like as well. So you can see the orientation of our proposal, the current commercial facility here, the Dunkin' Donuts and the sushi bar. You can see where the driveways are being aligned. You can see how the parking lots are being aligned, and the remainder of our project would stay as open green space. And the parking lot would be concentrated up towards the front and in alignment with that existing facility to the south. And again, in your packet, the full proposal of what we had contemplated was a 3-story, 24,000 square foot building with parking surrounding that. We would be doing a dark sky compliant light design. We would be treating all of our stormwater on site, just as you would under the DEP stormwater management guidelines. We're trying to put forward a very environmentally sensitive project. The watershed for this site does drain to the west, but there is a intermittent stream that's located to our west that flows to the north, and that actually goes through the 52 South Street site, the 42 South Street site, ultimately goes through the culverts when you cross into the parking lot, and then makes its way down to the Maspinock watershed. So there's a good separation from us. We're about 2,000 feet from the lake at this location. Marguerite Concrete is expanding. They are in need of having a corporate headquarters. The goal is to stay in Hopkinton. Jim's a resident in Hopkinton, and that is our preference. In order to do that, we need the zoning. And to ensure the neighborhood and the town as to what our proposal is, we provided a development agreement. And that is part of that packet that I handed you. We're being explicit about our proposal. We're telling you how many square feet we're going to build, what it's going to look like, how we're going to interact with our abutters and our neighborhood. Because we realize we are part of the Maspinock neighborhood. One of our proposals was to include some sort of identification to indicate that when you passed our facility, then you'd be entering into that Maspinock neighborhood to give them further identity. And we also indicated that we would commit to a host community agreement to try to support some of the interests that the lake is trying to support. I know there's a boat ramp, there's a park down there. So there are things that would be in our common interest to try to put forward. But none of this goes forward without the rezoning. And probably the more important aspect is also the tax revenue that this can bring. You're receiving a very small tax benefit from this property, being residential lakefront and being undeveloped. With our proposal, there'll be no service commitment that the facility would require. but you'd have a facility that's going to assess at about $75,000 in an annual tax rate. And because Marguerite Concrete has a need for a lot of corporate vehicles, there's the ability to assign those vehicles to this location, and we estimate that that could be valued at about $25,000. So annually, there's about $100,000 worth of tax revenue with this proposal to go forward. Again, trying to be sensitive to neighborhood impacts and to what we put forward to the town. But it starts with the rezoning. So, and the assurance is in the development agreement.
So,
thank you for the opportunity to present this.
Thank you. So I do think with some kind of development agreement, people would be more receptive to the idea, but this is the first time we've seen it this week, and town meeting is coming up very soon. So I guess, has town council reviewed this, or?
No, town council has not reviewed this. We were introduced to the concept of a development agreement very recently, had a conversation with your team. Thank you, nice meeting you finally in person. And clearly, our reaction and our response was that this is coming in way too late. We're too close to town meeting. Usually also when we're looking at development agreements, we want to get a better understanding of the issues that are important to the community, to the neighborhood, and then find ways to mitigate those in the development agreement. We have not had the opportunity to do that in this case.
Okay.
And we acknowledge that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there's a need in 24 to have this space. And we had an agreement with the property seller to not advance this until we owned it, which put us in January, and that's when we saw that Zach was pretty much closed out because we thought we'd go to Zach. Your town meeting warrant closes early.
Yes.
Unfortunately, even though town meeting is advanced, we knew the path we wanted to take, but we just couldn't take that path.
Yeah.
So we did a citizens petition, and we've been running ever since.
I understand, and
Okay.
that's your right to do that, for sure. Let's see. Because I think there is potential, but it's just too soon for it's too late for a town meeting, in my opinion. But there's potential in an agreement if it could, if agreements could be reached with the neighbors.
We were hoping we could discuss this evening.
Yeah. Okay. Do any other? Let's see. I'd like to let the abutters speak too, but if maybe the board members go first, and then.
Sure. So through the chair, I'm sure you've heard the abutters issues, and it sounds to me, at least, I'm just one board member, but it sounds as though we haven't had a real opportunity to really work with the neighborhood, and with that, I think that's something that I would really be looking for, is that we have a cooperative agreement. We do expect a special town meeting
in the fall.
In the fall, and that would be that would be an opportunity for you to present this zoning bylaw change, or change the zoning
with an agreement. Yeah.
With an agreement, something that's been worked on between the neighbors and yourselves. That's where I'd fall. That's where I would stand.
Thank you.
Okay. Muriel, did you have any?
Yeah, so I appreciate the presentation, and the tricky part about zoning is that we can love your presentation and your assurances that, like the dark sky lighting and so forth, but once it's zoned, if you sell it or somebody else builds there, whatever is allowable there is allowable there. So I think, I do think it behooves you to speak to the neighbors with some assertion and really understand their concerns, and that will help, right? If the neighbors are amenable, that will help a lot. So I wish you luck.
Thank you. Yeah, the development agreement we thought was it's the most important piece to this, but it is coming to you.
But I also don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think HCA's and development agreements protect people from future uses once the zone changes. Your use can be great, but then somebody else can come along and do something there that wouldn't necessarily be so great if it was sold, kind of thing.
The
But-
development agreement commits us to this project, so that I will say that, your town council can give you that advice.
Okay,
But the
okay.
way we've structured this is an ironclad commitment.
All right, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Sorry, through the chair, one other thing is, you'd mentioned that there's going to be commercial, there would be, so the graphic up there showed no commercial vehicles, no concrete vehicles, but then you said there would be corporate vehicles.
The company cars.
Company cars?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's those vehicles, because they're in their fleet, they go to job sites. And some of the employees are home-based, but involved in the company, so this is the corporate headquarters, and the thought that we had was they get assigned to a location, so that would be a benefit to Hopkinton, is to assign them to this location. And again, the development agreement was trying to put that commitment to you, so you can be able to capture
But
those dollars.
I guess what I'm asking is, they're just cars, it's not...
Yes, sir.
It's excise tax, would be good, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mary Jo, did you have any questions or comments?
Well, this is a hard one. Now, I see on that you have an entrance and an egress, or
Yeah, I'll
one,
go
or
through them.
both?
Sure, it's an entrance and an exit.
That should be the entrance off of South Street, right?
Correct, yes, ma'am.
And you only have an egress on Hayward Street.
Well, there would be an entrance as well. The point, though, is that it's not a right-hand turn, so it would only be left-hand turns to get you back to the signalized intersection.
Yeah.
As you know, there's 4 traffic lanes on at this location, 2 traveling south, 2 traveling north. And from our perspective, for safety, for exiting from this site, having the Hayward Street exit is important.
And they would be coming in the morning and out later?
Yeah, so the primary traffic pattern to this site would be coming from the north, from the highway. There'd probably be some traffic coming from the south along South Street, but I would think it would be a fairly nominal amount, but there would be. I'm not going to say there wouldn't, it'd be 0. The entrance could be from South Street, however, from that south movement towards the north. It's not a prohibition to make that left turn. It just may be easier to make it at the signalized intersection, especially if you're at a stop.
And this is strictly corporate headquarters. You're not going to make any concrete or cement or anything in that area?
This is for their managers, for their estimators, the accounting department, and then they have a safety division.
Okay. I'm looking at the new Hopkinton headquarters map here, and that lot looks to be about the exact same size as the lot across the street that has the Dunkin' Donuts and everything. It's just a much bigger building in the center of the lot.
That's correct.
That's correct, but the lot in itself in sizes. And you've left some, is this open space in the back of the lot?
Yes.
So you have left some green space in the back.
Right. It may be hard to see from there, but there is we're proposing an evergreen screen.
Yeah.
That's what would be there.
Okay.
And then the lot, there are 2 other lots here in the development agreement. We've actually designated those to go to your Hopkinton CPC. I believe it's what you...
For open space. Open space committee?
Yeah.
Shaitel, did you have any questions or comments?
Yeah, sure. So I'm processing it. I'm sorry, I didn't follow it because of other things going on. But I'm kind of torn on both sides. One is that when the abutters come to us and express their concerns, and they are living there, so it's their livelihood, it's going to impact their day-to-day life. In my view, better than me and us possibly, that how it's going to impact. So I heard some. I want to hear more and understand what those are, and what are the steps we can take to mitigate those or remediate those. And I appreciate you're looking at a lot of angles, and you have a lot of good measures that you are thinking about. I'm just hoping that we can find a sweet spot that can be acceptable for the abutters. So I'm along the same line, that let's continue the discussion and work with the abutters and hear out what they have to say and how best we can address those. Now, On the same note, I see a lot of positive things. I'm very much focused on our fiscal challenges and fiscal responsibilities in the town, and I like that it's going to bring another $100K of new revenue, which can be another new teacher or firefighter or police. And certainly I am of the proponent that we want to promote some of these revenue streams, but in a way that doesn't impact the character of the town, doesn't impact the livelihood or the living, or create new nuances for the neighbors who are living there. And I fully understand the challenge. It's really a big challenge to meet all the criteria all the time. But I do think that there are some common grounds to find. So I like the revenue proposal. I like some of the clause that you have put in. Those are really were my concerns too. You're not going to build anything like a concrete manufacturing or processing or delivering or storing, that type of thing. It's my understanding from the reading, correct me if I'm wrong, is that it's going to be a strictly corporate headquarters where you'll have 50 employees with various corporate functions, and it's pretty similar with some of the other facilities within that. Now, maybe the concern is traffic, we heard that. Maybe the concern is challenging the environments and cutting down the trees. And we have, worked on similar on other fronts, and especially cutting down the trees. There are ways, if we can explore, to remediate those. Maybe putting up something on the fence, or I'm not an expert, but there might be other ways to handle it. So my thinking is that, again, you'll have a chance in November, if this train is passed, to catch the special town meeting for consideration. And I would encourage, meantime, talk to the abutters, and I want to hear from them as well and see what's the best path forward. But that's why I'm torn, because I also want to encourage, you've been a successful businessman from this town. We want to encourage our own, especially that when we can and where we can, but again, not at the expense of someone's livelihood or some neighborhood going very different from where they see it going. So I need to understand a little more, but I'm happy that you are working on some of these measures and you're looking at it. So let's continue the conversation. I don't think we'll need to make the decision today. So I'd like to understand a little more and encourage you to continue the conversation. Thank you for that.
Through the chair.
Yeah, I do want to let the abutters, this is the first time the abutters have really seen the agreement the draft agreement, so I think I'd like to hear their opinions.
Just a reminder through the chair, too, that we had another wooded lot in town, and everybody wanted it to stay the way it was. And somebody bought it, and they put something in that the neighbors didn't really want, but now there's no problem with it. And I think just to remind people that if you want something to stay wooded, you got to buy it and keep it wooded. I mean, somebody's going to buy it and put houses in there or put buildings in there. I mean, because it's wooded now doesn't mean it's always going to stay that way. And that's just a reminder. I'm not preaching anything. I'm just saying that's a reminder that things like that happen all the time.
But I think that's where a development agreement could help if it specified exactly which parts of the parcels would have to stay wooded, and then that would be reassuring to everyone, I think. Okay, so do we have a representative or two from the abutters that might like to come up and comment on the agreement, or the draft agreement? That we've all said we're not going to move forward right now without further discussion and review.
Hi, my name's Michael Riley at 201 West Main Street. I live somewhat in the neighborhood, but I want to speak directly to the proposals. There's a few things that concern me, and I know it's a bit difficult decision for the select board because there's the dangling of money of, tax, as you're looking at this huge budget at town meeting. It's like, we can offset something. However, think about your neighborhood. Just think about where you live. And right next door, they're going to put 24,000 square foot building in 120 parking spaces where your children walk by. And that's your neighborhood now. When they decided on the zoning, I think Article 28 is a perfect example of when you can change zoning. It doesn't fit the neighborhood. It doesn't fit what's all around it. It's not a residential space by any stretch of the imagination. This is. There's a corner at South Street, and there's other opportunities to buy commercial. There's empty buildings at Dell. There's places to have commercial things, but they decided they took a gamble because they did it without, I do real estate, and when we do these things, it is contingent upon getting approval from the town. The seller didn't allow them to do that, so they took a shot. They took the dice out and threw it and says, we're going to take our best shot at converting this to commercial. In the meantime, these guys live right there, and their kids live right there, and now they want to put this huge place. And where the South Street is, and we can take a left on Lakeshore, I live there. West Main Street is a parking lot in the morning and at night. It is. Cars come around, so they don't want to go to South Street and sit in there. They cut through the back by the Hayward, and it's narrow streets. More of those are going to go there because it's a cut through to get to West Main down by on the other side of Price Chopper, and then you cut in there. So, and those are all narrow lake streets. So to me, it's not a compelling reason to convert, to change what our original plan was, the town plan of making this residential and making it commercial. There's not a compelling reason to change when there was options. It endangers the neighborhoods. If you're Mary Jo, and it's not about trees. We don't care about trees. That was just them throwing us another thing. They just don't want it there. I would love to see houses in those lots and then get the tax income that way. But if you lived right there, and they're going to put that's where the bus stop meets for the Lakeshore kids, by the way. So they're going to have to reroute that because they're not going to have a bus stop there as all the cars are driving to work. So there's a lot of compelling reasons not to do it. I haven't found a really compelling reason to do it because this doesn't meet, to me, the criteria, just as the one you just heard before, which was the church. I thought that was a perfect one to convert. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Okay. So we don't need to take a vote on it in particular, right? Just I think the consensus is that we would reconsider it at a later time if the agreement progressed.
What is this?
Well, we'll all consider it on town meeting if it's there.
So the zoning article itself, but we don't need to take a position on the zoning because that's the planning board.
This is even less.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Presentation, so thank you for the opportunity.
Trees
and
behind it.
we will work with town manager's office, and town meeting is the warrant article is there.
Right.
Whether we continue to pursue it or not, we understand where you folks, for your position is, and we'll evaluate that further.
Okay.
But thank you for this opportunity very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay, then we have other warrant articles and presentations to review. Right?
Yes, and through the chair, since we're on presentations, we have Elizabeth Rook, the Senior Accounting Manager. She's ready to present the participatory budget items.
Okay. Is she here or is she on Zoom?
On Zoom, I believe.
Oh, she's on Zoom. Liz Rourke. We're having trouble livening her up. There she goes. Okay.
I'm sorry, what are we waiting for?
Liz, she's going to present the participatory budget items.
Oh, thank you.
Well, what item?
She is muted though still.
Making our way through the packet here.
Are we ahead of schedule? Do we catch her?
Are we ahead of schedule? No.
No, I don't think so. Just a little behind, I guess. All right, so Liz, can you unmute yourself? And then you can introduce the participatory budgeting.
Without prejudice from this one.
Good evening.
There she is. Okay. Welcome.
Third time's the charm?
Yep.
Thank you. So I'm here this evening to discuss the FY24 participatory budget process, also known as the PB process in other communities and also nationwide. So this is our first year in Hopkinton, and it is a very exciting process. We went through and collected and received submissions from the community and residents overall. And you also received those, and we've posted them on the website, all of the submissions that were received by the town. We also then had an evaluation committee that was made up of myself, the CFO, the school business manager, the assistant town manager, the facilities manager, the DPW director, and also Nicole Rastos, she works at DPW, and her title is Norman, help me.
Construction inspector.
Yes, I was going to say building inspector, but I knew that was not correct. So we all took all these projects and we reviewed them, and then we went through a process of constructing a blind ranking. And how we did this was going through a strategic goal of selection process, and it was threefold. And what we did was we looked at each project, and we wanted to make sure that they were to benefit the community overall and improve public safety and health and modernize town assets. And that is how we came to the ranking of each project that was submitted to the town.
Okay. Ben, I just sent you a link. I don't know if you could put it on the screen just for the public to see, or would it be too small for them to read? But it looks like there were maybe 15 or so projects that were proposed, so...
Yes.
That's pretty good for the first year. I wasn't sure if people would know about it. That's excellent.
Yes, actually, there was a great response, and it was a very overjoyous response, or over enthusiastic response. People were very happy to be involved in the democratic process.
Okay, so it looks like looks like you're able to recommend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go forward to stay within the $100,000 budget.
Yes.
Okay, so a flashing...
And which I think is great.
Yeah. So a flashing traffic beacon at the crosswalk at the corner of Grove and Pleasant. Installation of electric vehicle charging stations. Where would those be? At the schools? Or?
Yes, that actually was submitted by so it was, I know these are blind rankings, but it came through and it was to be at the high school, so we don't know the exact location, so yes.
Okay. A fitness station along Center Trail, free CPR and first aid classes, and at the Hughes Farm, planting of trees, stone wall work, and turf work on the front grass area.
Very nice.
Okay. Do any board members have any questions or comments?
Through you, Madam Chair, thank you all who worked on it. Liz, thank you very much. And thank you all who participated. I'm super excited that residents threw in some really great ideas and were able to do some of these. Mm-hmm. So to all town hall staff, Mr. Kamalo, everybody involved, great idea, and I really appreciate it.
What's it? What's it?
Is this being submitted tonight?
Say it again?
Well, people submitted them in January, I believe, but we didn't hear the ranking until tonight.
Okay. That's what
Or Norman gave us a preview. He mentioned some of them another time, I think, right?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So through the chair, I mean, I'd like to echo what Muriel was saying. This is incredible to see town participation like this. I'm really impressed. Great job to everyone involved.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. And some of the other projects that didn't get approved, maybe they could be Eagle projects or grant funded or something, or they could try again next year.
Yeah, so quick question.
Yep.
Our fund is, what, 100K, and we have 247 submission for 247?
Yeah, so only the yellow ones are recommended to go forward, so they're 100,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so only the first five.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would echo the same. Thanks to the town staff for organizing this, and thanks to all the town residents who submitted their ideas. And I feel sorry that we can't do all of them. They're very creative and thoughtful. I'm sure they spend a lot of time doing that. Please continue to do that, whoever doesn't get in this time. And we encourage to continue this, of course. Thank you. This is great.
Okay, anything else on that?
Encouraging.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I may, for the proponents who were unsuccessful this time, we want you to know that as staff, we appreciate that we now know of these projects. We will certainly be looking for other opportunities to move them forward, either through grants or finding ways to build them into the town's future capital plan.
Excellent point, yeah.
Yeah, great idea. Okay, let's see. So what else do we have to do for the town meeting tonight? Do you want us to start taking positions on warrant articles?
Yes, please.
Okay, so
In
that...
fact, through the chair, as we're doing that, for the public's interest and those who may be watching at home, the vote on the warrant to be signed, we want to be clear that it is the warrant as revised and presented tonight. I know people may be looking at the warrant that was in the packet.
Oh, so what we'll be signing tonight is slightly different?
Yes.
So can you outline what was different in the packet?
Yes.
From the packet?
Yes. I will identify at least two items. On the ballot questions, we received housekeeping revisions from Town Bond Council. They do not change the substance of the question. They simply identify grammatic issues as well as building consistency between the question and the article as was presented. So purely housekeeping, no change in the...
No change in the amounts or the substance?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the other major change was in relation to the short-term lease bylaw. There was a request by member Rita Bush to at least provide an exemption window during marathon time. Town Council reviewed that and suggested that instead of simply limiting it to the Patriots holiday, we should in fact simply use a 6-day window as the exemption, so that we're not simply targeting one holiday, but we're saying if anybody is renting out for less than 6 days, they will be exempt from the bylaw.
In a one-year period, I think. Yeah. So that was my suggestion, and I appreciate that. So if somebody's doing it just once a year for charity or something, they're not restricted by...
Yes. And we also have Elaine participating remotely. Elaine, is there anything else that I may have missed in my summary of the changes?
No, that's it. I will note that the short-term rental does say 7 days. So, excuse me. But because town council has suggested 7, 6 was also mentioned. We can change that to whatever is desired.
Okay.
1 week is good to me.
I think rentals are usually by the night, so I was thinking 6 nights made sense because it would effectively be 7 days, but I'd say such a...
7 consecutive or non-consecutive calendar days in any 365-day period.
Yeah.
It's just the way it's worded.
I mean, if the town council approved that, I think that I'm okay with that. The difference is so minor. So maybe we should just stick with what the town council recommended. Do you guys have I know Irfan's not going to vote no anyway.
And I'm just clarifying, we're voting to put this on the town meeting.
Well, we already voted to put it on the warrant,
It's already on the town meeting.
but just the exact wording.
Oh, the wording, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But we are not voting to decide,
To recommend it or not?
right?
Not yet, no.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
fine.
that is on our agenda to approve all the different.
Yes, the board will begin that process soon after this discussion.
Just making sure.
Yeah. Okay, so then I think, do we need to revote now that we heard those minor changes, or if no one has any concerns with the minor changes?
I'm okay with it. Yeah.
Okay. So,
Again, the goal was to clarify to the public that
Yep.
the warrant voted on and accepted tonight.
it's
to be
slightly
signed.
different.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, so shall we start taking positions on the warrant articles then? I don't know, Ben, would you be able to put page 143 from our packet on the screen? Sometimes I think let's do them in a group like a consent agenda, yet at the same time, it's sometimes easier just to go through one by one. So I think I would lean to going through one by one, just real quick, and, on our recommendations. So the acceptance of town reports, that's simple, we always do that.
Yeah.
So we have a motion to recommend approval of acceptance?
Oh, I'll move the town reports.
Okay. Second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstain?
Yeah, and in fact, for those who are watching at home and the public, to date we have received 2 indications relative to town reports. One, that the ESBC 2 may have an update for town meeting, and also the Permanent Building Committee may have an update on Center School.
Great. Okay, so the second article that we need to take a recommendation on is the FY23 supplemental appropriations and transfers.
I'll move that.
A second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstain? Number 3, unpaid bills from prior fiscal years.
I'll move that.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstain?
How many unpaid bills do we have?
Yeah, do we have very many?
So far, we've been waiting for submissions. We don't have any that have stepped forth, unless Liz has a different update.
So we don't have any
Is
yet?
this still on?
So far, we have not received.
Are there any no, so far unreceived? Okay, great.
Here's hoping. Fingers crossed.
Okay, number 4, set the salary of elected officials, the town clerk.
I'll move that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Fiscal year FY24. Oh, go ahead.
In fact, if I may share also, the suggestion from the town manager is that this past year, non-union employees, for the most part, received a 5% adjustment to their salary, and we would recommend that the board consider that adjustment as well.
For the town clerk, yeah.
Yes, for the town clerk.
I think that makes sense. Okay, number 5, the FY24 operating budget.
So moved.
Is that finalized?
What's it?
Yeah, I was going to ask the same thing.
Well, after the appropriations committee, I think it is, right? Did they? Oh, no. Broken chair? The chair?
No. It's the budget. We're trying to save money on chairs. I would recommend that the board perhaps put a hold on this one, pending the finalization of the Appropriations Committee report.
Okay, so we'll wait till next week.
Yes, and I also understand I had a brief conversation with the school committee chair last night. She indicated that the school committee will be also considering the budget at their meeting this coming Thursday.
Okay.
So it will be next meeting when we'll see the final.
So in 2 weeks, I guess.
In 2 weeks, yes, on the 28th.
Got it. That'll be good.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we'll skip number 5.
We're going to hold off on that one.
Yeah, 25th. Yeah, hold on. Yeah.
Okay, Article 6 is the FY24 revolving spending limits.
I move the motion.
To recommend approval?
Recommend, yeah.
So,
second.
Muriel had a question?
Yeah, do we, I apologize if I have missed it, but do we have detail on how we're changing the spending limits?
Well, we have the motions document, right?
I know. Thanks, Amy. But do we have detail on what that means? It would have been great where it's so big if the motions document was printed versus just the warrant. So, but that's not a criticism, I'm just saying, going back and
For
forth
next time.
through the document is
So should we wait on that till next time then?
If it's really straightforward, is it easy to find?
It's on page 64.
Let me ask.
Of the book or the packet, big packet?
I'm on page 100. Oh, in the book. Wait, is it in the book?
Is it?
No.
No.
The packet.
That would have been too easy.
Okay,
Yeah,
page
65, page 65.
65.
While we are finding it, just a general question, is this any different from the other years?
I believe there may be a couple where the amounts have been adjusted, but I don't have the specifics here. We do have the amounts, if you would like me to read them out.
Yeah, why don't you just do that?
Okay, building department, 500,000. Part-time Y inspector, 100,000. Part-time plumbing inspector, 100,000. Hazardous materials, 20,000. Conservation Commission, 200,000. Library, 10,000. Public safety, 5,000. Planning board, 100,000. Open Space Preservation Commission, 10,000. Youth and Family Services Department, 4,000. Zoning Board of Appeals, 50,000. Department of Public Works, expenses of operation of the Highway Division, 8,000. Department of Public Works, expenses of operation of Recycling Center, 15,000. DPW, purchase overflow trash bags and to meet expenses of waste collection and disposal, 8,000. Cemetery Commission, 3,500. Cemetery Lot Fund, 10,000. School Department for the one-to-one laptop initiative, 475,000. Fingerprinting Fund, 500. Senior Center Programs Fund, 75,000. Police Department, 12,500. Parks and Rec, 130,000. And then finally, the Shared Housing Services Office, 125,000.
Okay. Any questions on those, or are we ready to?
No, will we see what the change is?
Yes, perhaps the board could put a hold on this one. We'll identify what has changed.
I don't mean to be sort of difficult or whatever, but it's nice to see that.
I mean, I'm just wondering, like, why?
Yeah.
So it's probably, so next time if they could bring, probably the appropriations report from last year would have the detail on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we could bring both those documents next time. Okay, number 7, the PEG access and cable-related revolving account funding?
Hold on this one.
Hold on that one. Chapter 90 highway funds?
We're still waiting for the dollar amount from the state. Hold.
Okay. Transfer to OPEB? I guess we should wait on that until we get the update.
And stabilization.
And stabilization.
And the special ed reserve.
I think we, did we approve that last time? Or no, we approved the spending out of it. Okay. So should we hold on that too, since the school committee's having a meeting?
Yes, let's hold.
Okay. Establish capitalization, or capital stabilization account for the South Middlesex Regional Vocational Technical School District?
Yes, this is a new concept in town. I have spoken with the superintendent. They're willing to come before the board and make a presentation. This does not establish an amount right now. However, all it does is to allow the town to authorize KIFTEC to establish a capital stabilization fund.
Okay.
We'll then see this amount reflected in future budgets.
So it's just to establish the account?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Through you, Madam Chair. So is KIFTEC often a big cause of disruption in the budget? I mean, I'm just wondering why we're doing this.
Here's why. I think similar to what we are hearing in town, they are planning for future capital projects in the near term. And having some reserve in place would allow some of these projects to be. In terms of the impacts that I've seen in my 14 years here, I remember recently there was a roof project at Kiftab.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because of the MSBA / some other grants that were available as funding sources for that project, the impact on the towns was minimal. However, having this kind of capital in place would help soften the impact on the participating communities. However, as I say, if the board is interested in hearing more about this, we can invite John to your next meeting on the 25th.
Well, I think since it's new, that would be interesting to hear from him. Yeah.
So hold on that too?
Yeah,
I think so. The pilot agreement for Wilson Street Solar, is that all set now? And it worked out between them?
I believe it's all set, but I'll defer to Elaine. I saw an email this morning, I believe, Elaine, saying we may be all set.
I believe we are. We're still waiting to hear back from them, but we believe we are.
Okay. So
I think
if you're waiting to hear back from them, we should wait, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the pay-as-you-go capital expenses, are those finalized?
Now that we have the update on the pay-as-you-go, these are finalized. They reflect the projects that were discussed by the department heads when they appeared before the board.
Okay.
So I'll move that.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Okay, Chestnut Street sidewalk. Let's see, remind me how much is that?
514,250.
And the funding source at the moment is?
Ballot question, right?
Ballot question.
Yes.
Debt exclusion. I'll move the Chestnut Street sidewalk.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained?
Yeah, I'm opposed.
Okay, one opposed. Okay, and then sidewalk from EMC.
Sorry, was that one opposed?
I think I only heard one.
Okay.
Sorry. Sidewalk from EMC Park to Blueberry Lane.
I'll move the sidewalk from EMC Park to Blueberry Lane.
Second. Then.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Okay. Article 17, Fire Station 2, Architectural and Engineering Design.
I'll move the Fire Station 2 Architectural and Engineering Design.
I second that.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstained? Hopkins Schools HVAC renewal work.
I move the Hopkins School HVAC removal.
Okay. Did you say second?
I did.
Oh, second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstained? The Hopkins School addition, number 19.
I move the Hopkins School addition.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstained? Okay, roadway paving for Pratt Way and cemeteries.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Somebody, I'm sorry. Remind me, Pratt Way and cemeteries. Where is?
So the Pratt Way is at Fruit Street, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the cemeteries, it's in Mount Auburn and...
Okay, so they're not co-located. That's what is missing.
Mount Auburn and the Woodville Cemetery to Evergreen.
All right, and what's the total there?
It's not very much, I don't think, right?
Yeah, 480,000.
Oh, that's more than I thought.
Adds up.
But I would like people to be able to get to the cemeteries.
Yeah,
safely.
I agree.
Okay, do we have a motion for that one?
I think
So moved. I said so moved.
Okay.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Water Department replacement vehicle.
I move Water Department to replacement vehicle.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Okay, community preservation funds. That is, maybe we should jump back. What page are they listed on?
Is that just the money coming in? Or
Oh, yeah, I think the first one is just...
separated out in the buckets?
Okay,
What is number 23?
Yeah, correct. I think you're absolutely correct. Through the chair, this this is the step that the CPC recommends to town meeting to apportion the reserves for the different uses.
Historic versus open space.
Yeah, I just had one question. CPC has 4 categories, and the recommendations match with all those categories equally, or because of the project nature we have differences? Can you shed some light on that?
It depends. Usually the analysis is what projects have come in under each bucket.
Right.
It may have an impact. The other piece also we have to deposit the minimums that are required by law.
But we just may not be able to use it if we don't have the projects. So do we have a sense of the balances across?
Yes, we do. They will be reflected, I think, they'll be included in the Appropriations Committee report. So if you want to see those balances, perhaps the board should put a hold on this.
I think we should wait on this one because they don't have the bucket allocations yet. So the second one is the actual, I think we should hold on the second one then too.
I do too.
Even though they do have the projects listed out. Okay.
I think we should hold on street acceptance as well.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah, definitely hold on the street acceptances. Accept the gift of land for Turkey Ridge. Yeah.
I'll move that.
Okay. In a second.
And how big a gift of land are we talking about? I mean, I don't know why I would be opposed. I'm just curious.
Yeah, we'll have to jump back. Well, I don't know if it says how many acres it is.
Oh, maybe it's.
These are all gifts, or we are purchasing them?
A gift.
It's a gift.
Okay.
It's part of, they made a subdivision and some of the land they don't. They're donating for open space.
I don't want to.
We can't use either.
Unnecessarily.
Okay, it's
37.
All right, it's 10 acres, it looks like.
It's 10 acres?
Yeah.
I don't want to pay tax on
Yeah,
it.
10.22 acres. I will move that. I'm sorry I held this up for that. I was just really.
Well, as an assessor.
Okay, so Muriel moved the acceptance of the Turkey Hill subdivision land.
Second then?
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstain? Okay, solar canopy leases, middle and high school.
I'll move that.
Okay, so.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? Fruit Street lease. I've forgotten what this is. What is?
It's just the scouts or?
Yeah, this is the scouts.
Oh, yes, that's right. The citizens petition, yeah. Right? Is it the citizens petition?
It is a citizens
Okay.
petition. I suggest perhaps that the board put a hold on this.
Okay.
Okay. Did the citizens submit a PowerPoint about it or anything?
I don't know if Elaine recalls. She's been receiving the
Okay.
presentations.
But if they did, maybe we could have that next time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we do have something on that.
Okay, great. So let's put a hold on that and we can look at that next time. Okay, the drainage easements, looks like we already voted. Home rule petition for special state legislation to authorize the taking of easements for the Milford for the Lake Maspinock Dam repairs. Did you say you removed it?
I'll move it.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstain? Okay, we got through most of those. That's good.
Yeah, we're making progress. Woohoo.
We reduced our meeting time for the next meeting.
And on time too.
Okay, and we will consider discussing our own town meeting presentations. What are we looking for there? The PowerPoints, or who's going to present which article?
Who's going to present the town meeting? In past years, through the chair, staff discuss with the chair.
Okay.
The distribution, the approval distribution, and then share that with the board.
Have at it, Amy.
Okay, so if you have a favorite article you want to present, I guess just email us.
I do not care.
But otherwise, we should just divide it up.
Yeah.
Give to each of you.
Whatever makes sense.
Okay.
Are we able to see it? Are we able to preview it?
Oh, it's just, you'll have to move the motion as written in the warrant, and then...
Be prepared to answer questions.
But the town staff is pretty good about giving us a little FAQ sheet of common questions that we're probably going to get asked, so... And they'll be there at the meeting, too, to back us up.
It's a very sort of low-stress activity, honestly.
You never know. Sometimes there'll be a stressful article.
Yeah, oh, well, yeah.
I like some stress.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
Sounds good.
Or if Ron does not want to present the short-term lease bylaw.
Maybe he does want to.
I don't know.
I think it's not fair to the people who are presenting it
Yeah.
for me to present that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, we will keep that in mind. Okay, are we ready to move on to volunteer recognition? Is there anything else we need to do for town meeting tonight?
Elaine, I believe we covered everything on town meeting.
I think so.
Okay, made some good progress there. Okay, then I sent you the slideshow in Google Slides. I don't know if you could put that up. I noticed a formula error since I put it in the packet, so this is a slightly amended, but I noted that. Okay, so just slides 5 and 9, I corrected a formula error.
Amy.
I know. Okay,
Thank you
so
for
just
doing this, by the way.
if we go to slide 2, this is just for the public how to apply now. That on the new town website, I took a new screenshot of how you apply. And then slide 3. So this is the participation on boards and committees by residents, mostly boards that we appoint, but sometimes they're appointed by the planning board. So the male-female balance was the same from 2021 to 2023. So that is surprising to me that it's not even closer to 50-50, but interesting.
Yeah, it is.
So this is the next one is 4. So 2021 percentage of registered voters compared to so by precinct. I should have put that in the title. And we have new precincts this year, so this is going to be confusing. But in 2021, we had very low representation from legacy farms compared to the number of people that live there, and also a little bit.
Windsor. No, the Windsor community also?
Yep, the Windsor community, it's not as big of a difference between the 3% of the residents live in Windsor, but only 1% of the board and committee members live in Windsor. But if we come to 2023, so we have new precincts, which makes it confusing. But I thought it was really good to see Legacy Farms residents now make up 4% of our boards and committees. So not exactly proportional to the number of residents there, but it's getting closer.
We need to get someone who needs citizenship, so they can't vote yet.
Right.
But they will.
But progress is progress, I think. And we have 5 precincts now this year, so it's just a completely different chart otherwise. So some precincts, 4 is overrepresented, 3 is overrepresented, and the other ones are slightly underrepresented, but not, I wouldn't say too significantly. And then slide 6 is, let's see, registered voters by generation and age. So this in 2021, 48% of the boards and committee members were baby boomers. So baby boomers and Generation X were really overrepresented. And then if you jumped ahead to the next one for 2023, baby boomers are still overrepresented, but Gen X has kind of come up to parity there. But millennials and Gen Z are really underrepresented on boards. But we have appointed some Gen Z residents this year to boards and committees. So a little progress. Because last year it was 0%, so 2% is better than 0.
Indeed.
Let's see. So slide 8 is compared to length of time in town, and this is about the same as last time. So people who've lived in town for more than 20 years represent about 49% of the people on boards and committees. And not very many that have lived here less than 5 years, which I think makes sense, but we'd like to get some of those people in the middle a little bit more involved at least.
Yeah, it's worth saying that, you don't have to have lived here for a long time in order to jump in and join.
All right, so slide 9, it didn't really change much. The people who've lived in town 20 years or more are still overrepresented on boards, and the others were about a similar percentage. And then slide 10 is just to show the precinct mapped in 2010, what it looked like, and then if you jump to slide 11, what it looks like now. So it's just a total different map now after the 2020 census when we grew. We've got 5 precincts now.
Is there a way we can blow up the numbers on this map? This is a great map.
Yeah. I have a larger PDF file of it, if you want. Yeah. But Yeah, because it's not very detailed. Just, I guess when you zoom in, you can see the street names, though, I think.
Yeah, just the number should help. Which one is number 5?
Oh, sorry.
it's the
Okay,
red
so the
The red one?
yeah, 5 is red. Purple is the 1.
1 and 2.
I think green is 2. Yeah, purple is 1, green is 2, 3 is yellow, 4 is pink.
Okay.
And the red is
the new one, 5. Yeah. And the other sides we don't need to go over, but we have a new, maybe the public would be interested in 12. That's our new state representative district. We used to be with parts of Southborough and Westborough, but now we're not. We're with Holliston, Millis, and Sherburne. And our congressional, and then the other two, just our state senate district is still Senator Spilka 13, but I think that's changed slightly. And then McGovern, we're in congressional district 2, that changed with Rep. McGovern. All right, so that's a little bit about our volunteers, and now we were going to talk about how we might want to recognize them. And I realized I should have counted up the number of volunteers, so I'll do that. But it would be good. Bob Levinson could not attend tonight, it sounds like.
Yeah, not available until May 2nd.
Okay.
He does have a teaching engagement on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, but in May he would be able to come?
After May 2nd, he'll be happy to join the board.
Okay. So did we want to brainstorm? So I know volunteer recognition can mean different things to different people. I think we have about 200 volunteers, and I meant to do the remove duplicates from my list to see, because a lot of them are one person will have 2 or 3 roles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know how the total number of people it is, but close to 200 anyway. So we could have an event. We could send them letters or cards. I don't know, but. Do people have ideas for recognition?
So I think doing through the chair, I think doing an event, doing something fun would kind of be more public and get people to see all that can be. Just kind of makes it more public and potentially encourage more participation.
Okay.
As far as an event goes, I mean, I don't know, maybe we could have something at the Hopkinton Family Day where we recognize people, have a section, period where we do that.
Yeah. Okay. Any other thoughts or ideas?
I thought, well, I wouldn't be able to do it this summer, but I thought a family day, a volunteer family day at Hopkinton State Park might be nice. Families, kids.
Separate from the official, we are having a family day this fall, right? Or we're not sure yet.
Thou shalt have family day.
We shall have.
I'm like suddenly like, what? Oh,
That can't go.
this is like my first year in a long since it started. I think that I can come because I won't have a college student doing family day someplace else.
Gotta have that. I think I like Mary Jo's idea in a way that it can be a separate, just focus on the volunteers and the families, and can be open for public too. Mm-hmm. But that's how I think the appreciation can be a little bit unique, maybe. And something fun, something very, light, but just mingling and.
I think we should get an ice cream truck.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, we should provide.
I was going to say beer gun.
We should provide some
bad thing for me to suggest.
We should provide soda or ice cream
like
truck.
a family day for volunteers.
And then people can bring their own
Do we have a
food
budget
so
for
they
an
can
ice cream
still
truck?
Well, we'd have to
eat
find out if
different
we had
things,
some sort of budget for an ice cream truck.
We're gonna bring it over.
That's correct. These are questions we'll have
To the state park idea, but the reason I suggested at Hopkinton Family Day is it's just more exposure.
People will be there anyway,
There's more people there, and
They have such nice areas with the picnic tables.
Yeah,
and, we
it's
can
just
get
kind
a
of an
private area
opportunity
for
to-
Hopkinton,
just an opportunity for people to see what is available. If we do it just for the volunteers in a state park, I'm sure it would be great, and I'm sure that people would appreciate it, but I'm not sure that everyone else would be able to see what's available.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. But I'm also thinking, there'll be another event, so I like that. A different new event. And maybe the volunteers will feel, a little bit cared having a separate one. But on the same note, everyone would be, or many would be happy to have another event to go to. I mean, in summer, I think having an extra event wouldn't hurt. But I'm open. It's not a...
That has been my experience that, like I was on the Hopkins School Council for a couple of years, and the school staff really wanted to have a volunteer recognition breakfast or whatever, and nobody came except us 2 school council volunteers because everybody's like, I'm flat out with going to every little recital and thing for my kids. I'm not going to come to one more thing. It doesn't mean, so piggybacking on another event could help with that because they might already be going to the family day.
Right. Was it in Hopkinton? Where was it?
At Hopkins School?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because so those volunteers, right? They're going and going and going and going to all those events, and then you're giving them an opportunity to come one more event.
And they're like, oh,
for them, and they're like, we're good.
It can be.
And also during the summer, people have plans. It's
right.
busy, my summer's already...
You have the most planned, Irfan, not us working people.
There'd have to be a draw to get people to come,
So,
like an ice cream or some kind of, maybe.
All right, I'm gonna look into how much an ice cream truck.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that on.
Submit it for participatory budgeting for next year.
Yeah, I hope it's not that much.
Well, 101 is coming up really soon, but it would be nice to have a volunteer recognition table.
Yeah, that was another potential event,
certificates or give out ice cream or something.
When is the 101?
I think it's May 6th.
Soon.
May 6th.
This month.
Yeah, I know it's soon.
May 6th?
Coming up next month.
Yeah.
Isn't it too early for...
Not for the volunteer recognition, but this is Hopkinton 101, where we'll have a
be there
table.
anyway.
Right.
And
I was thinking piggybacking.
last year, Elena Norman and I and Mary Jo were all there, and we had a handout with all the current committee openings that will be coming at the end of June. So we'll do that again, I think.
Yeah, I'm planning to be there too.
Yeah.
So part of the day.
And I'm going to suggest too that we do print out certificates with people's names and maybe sign or electronically sign.
That's a great idea.
Because I think we can at least mail them to people who don't come, since not everybody will come. And if there's a way to determine how many years someone has volunteered, I mean, that would be nice to write that on the certificate too, but I'm not sure if our system determines that.
I think what I heard was that when the town hall flooded, a lot of those records were packed away, so it's not as easy to find out. Like I had to recreate my own for my CV. Just my volunteer experience over the years, but we could ask.
Yeah.
But you're right, it would be nice.
Okay, so we have some ideas we can explore further.
Honestly, the individual committees we could do the work to ask people how long they've been a volunteer.
Yeah, I guess we could start a spreadsheet and ask the committee chairs to fill in if they knew the number of years.
A Google Doc, if you would. Look at me go with
Definitely not a PDF.
No, definitely not a PDF.
Okay, and then Bob Levinson can join us in May sometime and discuss further, and maybe we'll know more about Family Day by then.
Yes, through the chair. You may also recall that over the years, at town meeting, the town has recognized outstanding volunteer individuals.
Did we do that the last couple?
Last couple, I don't.
And have we updated that plaque?
No.
So I'm going to take that plaque before when I leave, and we're going to go ahead and get that updated as well. But yes, I was thinking the same thing. But I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
My suggestion, respectfully, is that perhaps the board could incorporate that concept into your discussion.
The recognition at town meeting?
Yes.
Yeah. So the town meeting is soon to determine how many people have been, because it's only the people that have been here volunteering for a very long time, right, that get recognized. So we'd have to have the list.
Yeah, because some people haven't gotten that recognition, like John Palmer, who was here for years.
Yeah.
Different things.
Well, there's only been a few people who have been recognized, so that's true. Yes, that's very true.
But the
well, if there's
community
time.
goes all day, right? Are we going to... We're talking about recognizing volunteers during the day?
No, or during town meeting, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think that'd be a good idea to recognize people after a certain threshold. 20 years.
I do too.
But it's just getting the numbers.
I'll have to abstain from voting, and so will Mary Jo.
What?
Because you volunteered more than 20 years?
Yeah, we've been at it more than 20 years.
Okay. We have to talk to the moderator, too.
Can I just, as long as we're recognizing people and things, I'd like to recognize the boys hockey team that made it to the state championship. They didn't quite get the championship, but they made it all that way, and that is quite an accomplishment for them.
That's
They
awesome.
deserve recognition.
Thank you, Margie. But I'm thinking it's kind of late. Maybe we can have a special recognition for them. With school.
See, that's been asked before, and we haven't done it, so I would feel bad. There was a girls' team.
That had the same?
There's always people you leave out when you...
They won the state championship a few years ago. Yeah.
Let's start a new tradition.
But they did get, they went to the Marathon Fund Committee and they got little teeny emerald rings. For winning the state championship, as I recall. They're very small. They're very, very small. But they got something.
So I think what we didn't do was put up signs during
Banners for the winners.
The champions. That's what we did not do.
Yeah.
Right, somebody
But I-
requested
yeah, but
that,
I
or
do think
what would it
we-
take to get a sign?
Yeah, we certainly acknowledge and
Yeah.
you know.
But they didn't come before us.
But
like
honestly,
the Eagle Scouts
some
do.
towns literally have little tasteful signs when your baseball team or your volleyball team or your track team crushes it, and I don't know, it's worth asking about. But also, as far as the teams go, it would be nice if that was sort of a school committee joint.
Yeah, I feel like that might be their jurisdiction.
Kind of thing. But it's very nice to celebrate happy
Some
accomplishments.
towns have like street signs.
That's what I mean.
That they can
Little
change.
tasteful
You get
signs.
a street sign that says
It's a big
Super
deal to
Bowl
go
champs
all the
or
way.
something.
Yeah, it can be
Just
very
put devil's-
motivating for them.
But for to play devil's advocate, like, I've never played a sport in my life. Like,
yeah.
but I did other clubs and activities. Are we going to recognize all the other clubs and activities too? Like, where do we stop? Like,
Yeah, well, what if we had a robotics team that went
That
all
won
the
out
way?
of states.
I don't know. I'm all about it.
All about that, too.
I know, but they all get on the sign, or like it just becomes a lot.
When they win, yeah.
Yeah.
When they win, yeah.
They
why
win,
not?
yes.
When they go all the way and they get the top prize,
We can
I
have
don't
more than
know.
one sign. I mean, look at all the banners that we have along for the marathon right now.
I mean, I'd be open to talking about it if,
Yeah.
if it was something that a large number of people
Yeah. I mean, even if we recognize them specially in this meeting, that would mean a lot, and it's almost no cost. With some placard or
We used to
I think-
recognize
I think
people,
when
like when
it's
kids got gold keys and silver keys. We used to, the art awards, we used to have them into the select board.
You're not the school committee?
Here.
So they go to both places?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, does the school committee have them in? If
They do, yeah.
Does-
I don't know.
So maybe that's the difference, and that's as it should be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah.
But what I want to recognize them, that's
Yeah,
all I know, is I want
Well,
them
anyway,
to know
we can
we're
certainly
proud of
say
them.
congratulations, well done.
Right, yeah. I mean, school committee, if they're doing it, that's great, and I'm sure they're doing other recognition too. But from the select board of Sweden,
Yeah, I mean, do we have a policy around that? Like, that's the thing is if you start, like we recognize gold awards and Eagle Scout projects typically because they do a project for the town, not for the schools.
They
So
very often do a project for a different town.
What's it?
They very often do a
Oh, sometimes
project
they've
for a
done it for
different
other
town.
towns, yeah. Okay.
more recognition is merrier, especially when it
I mean,
comes
I'm
to
all
kids.
about it, right? I don't think I want to stop it necessarily, but it's not necessarily in town.
Okay. I think I am worried about opening a can of worms where we forget people that we recognize some and not others. And
It is the kind of thing that people have to help us out, right? If there are folks that have done extraordinary, wonderful things, would love to hear. Like we haven't had Girl Scout Gold Award winners in quite some time. Does that mean that nobody's had the Gold Award, or is nobody coming forward?
They haven't
we've
come
definitely done
forward.
them
We did
since I've been on the board.
In the past, I haven't seen one in a while. I don't think. So I wonder.
We can put out a time every month and then publicize it, so whoever are involved, if we don't call them out.
We're all done around now, too, aren't they, spring?
We can put in some
Well, not Eagles, Eagles different times, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I think we got to circle around. It is off topic. We're talking about volunteer recognition.
Volunteer recognition.
You started it, Irfan.
Oh, did you start the hockey? Who started the hockey team?
Oh, well, at least we know who to blame. I have no idea.
I'll take the blame, but I'm going to also
Okay,
take
so
the credit to refocus.
You're right, it's not on the agenda.
I got off.
So a future agenda item, we will have a discussion on recognition of achievements, I guess, in town.
And I'm just going to say right out loud, you can't really easily Google how much an ice cream truck will be. You have to sort of go through some steps, but I'm going to do.
Okay, for next time.
In this meeting, in the summer?
What's that?
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It's the business of the board.
Okay, sorry, we did get off track. So we have the town manager report still to do, but I think we've closed out the volunteer recognition for now. Okay, town manager report, Main Street corridor, that looked pretty similar to last time, right?
That's up again on Tuesday.
Yeah, in fact, I think I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge Dave's effort getting this portion of Main Street ready for the marathon.
Oh, thank you.
He did it last year, he did it again this year. On PFAS, I did reach out to the chair of the Board of Health and also sent an email to board members asking if the 24th or 25th would work for a joint boards meeting. My understanding is that perhaps preferably the 25th would work. So I will settle back with the chair of the Board of Health and confirm that the 25th is the date for the...
Does the 25th work for the rest of you? I can't do the 24th, but if ever, but I can be flexible. Or, I mean,
25th?
The 25th is better for me. I'll be flying out of town on the 24th. What's that?
It's a regular select board.
At the regular meeting. Oh, so it's our schedule is clear.
Don't even look at my phone.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, we also are reaching out to engineering companies to learn more about soil testing methodologies and laboratories that are ready to do this PFAS work. We also are broadcasting very widely the PFAS information for private wells.
Okay, great.
And then MWRA, we continue our conversations with Southborough on the IMA, and as I said, as soon as we wrap that up, we will move on to bringing PAR Engineering to do the design and permitting.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions on the town manager report?
No, all set here.
Oh, thank you. I think last time I asked the PFAS question and I got good answers and response. And thanks to Amy, actually, you made some nice visuals that you published. I think those type of communications goes a long way. And we also have the responsibility for advisory for our town residents, especially when it comes to safe drinking water. So I'm glad we are on focus on this.
I just want to remind people that they can get a form and fill it out to get reimbursed a percentage of their water use. They have to buy water.
If they're on the town system.
Right. And even renters can fill it out, we confirmed too. You don't have to be the property owner, just if you have town water.
Yeah. And on that note, do we have any update on some of the residents getting the brown water? I know there was an important testing that was going on. Is the testing done, or they should still expect some of that?
Unfortunately, John is not here. He's the one who has the update. I don't have an update. Yes, I did receive also emails from residents that they were still getting brown water.
Right.
Yeah. I did say it would clear up.
I feel like I saw something from Eric Hardy today, though.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely we need to do, especially to be vigilant on the fire capabilities. What I was thinking, if there is a way we can communicate it better, like when we have a planned outage in power, we get email notification or some notification from the power Eversource or whoever that might be.
Good luck.
And in a similar way,
You can't log on and
can we do something?
We have
for the water.
For the
Sorry, hold on. Can I talk at once? Shahid will finish his thought here. What is it?
So I was thinking, can we do something of a notification when, say, there is some fire-related testing going on, and I should see brown water in my tap water.
So they do send those out on the HOP Notices email list.
Oh, we do? Like, we do individually, or?
So any resident can subscribe to it. I get them. But, and every time someone says they didn't get something, I tell them to subscribe. Trying to think. And he does say that we're flushing the hydrants and your water may be brown and this is what you do. But how many people subscribe? I know it's improved in recent years, but...
Yeah, I don't have the current numbers. I'll check in with Josh.
Hundreds, I believe, people subscribe, but not thousands.
So, to be clear, like, if I am seeing brown water and I'm subscribed, I will get an email in the morning saying you should expect brown water today because of this test. That's what I'm talking about. So, yeah, that's a very good vehicle of communication. And the second is if we can post it on the website just for general purpose and make it a practice. If people are complaining, say on email, we can send an email saying, please always look at the latest and greatest notice on this website or at this link.
Yeah, it is always on the front page of the website too, on the Twitter feed, and then also they usually have an announcement on the front page too. Okay. But people don't go and look, and it's frustrating. Sorry, go ahead.
We haven't had any power outages in a while, though, that would have anything to do with Eversource. Because we built a transfer station out on South Street. I remember going to the opening. We used to have brownouts all the time. You wake up in the morning, you never knew exactly what time it was because the lights were flashing. It was terrible. And then they built the station out there, and it's been really good since. So that was 10 or more years, 10 or 15 years ago.
All right, so Ben looked it up. It's 738 people subscribe to the HOP Notices. So that's
a good number.
I don't know, maybe 10.
Could be a lot more.
Maybe 10% of the households or so, but yeah, it should be more. I would like it to be more.
Don't look up and see if it's me yet. Just don't do that.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Chief, if each of them talk to like 5 people, then we are covered.
Yeah.
In fact, I also checked on the water website. Yes, there's a notice. As of today, current system status, yellow. Please be advised that there are still pockets of discoloration from required flow testing, unauthorized hydrant use by the Mass DOT and the recent fire that are making their way through the system. Crews are targeting those areas with flushing.
All right, so at Hopkinton 101, we can have a QR code for subscribing to HOP Notices, maybe.
Hey, that's a great idea.
That's a good idea.
All right, and maybe Family Day, too.
There you go, Amy. Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll actually get the job done.
Okay.
I just wanted to report, too, that the Ashland Recognition Night was very nice.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, it's fantastic.
It was wonderful, yeah.
Yep, and good luck to the runners on Monday.
Right. You got a little race coming.
Yes, I can see.
Yeah, everybody who's running, I hope they have a good race on Monday. It's tough.
Okay, we're all set with the town manager's report, right?
Yep.
Okay, so liaison reports and board invites. We mentioned the Ashland event last week, which was very nice, and I'll drop that certificate off with them.
Oh.
And then, let's see if I had anything else to bring up. What am I signing? No, I think I don't think I have any liaison. Oh, so we're all invited to the wreath ceremony in Boston on this Thursday. I think Mary Jo and Shadul and I are all going to go together.
Oh, good. Okay. Not able to go. Yeah, I need a ride. I'm not.
Okay.
I've been in here.
I can drive, but you may not feel very comfortable.
Me too.
No, I'm just
I don't feel very comfortable anyway, so it doesn't make any difference.
I'll need another 4 weeks before I can drive.
Yeah, there's such. Actually, yeah, I can tell you. So there's a meet on tomorrow. There is a meet and greet for a Pakistani runner who is running on behalf of Such.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Tomorrow or Thursday.
It's not terribly late.
Okay, wait. Everybody together. So any more liaison reports or board invites?
Well, I have a marathon meeting, but that's tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night,
Last
okay.
meeting for the race.
Okay.
Friday is the Project Just Because ribbon cutting.
Okay, and you said you can go?
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, we're done with liaison reports and board invites? Okay, future agenda items, we said we're going to discuss recognition of of students and of other volunteers, right? Accomplishments of students.
Volunteers. Yeah, let's cogitate on the students thing.
Okay. Well,
let's chew on that a little bit.
Okay.
I think we can always say congratulations for amazing stuff.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay, any other future agenda items that are not already on the list? No? Okay.
Madam Chair, I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? Okay, and then things we have to sign.
I think Shahidul and I are done.